It's Thirsty Thursday. You're so thirsty, thirsty Thursday. Thirsty for knowledge, thirsty Thursday. Drink it up.
Welcome to Organization for the Leasing Agent, part 2 in our Get Organized series. Now, every management company has their own operational procedures, guidelines, and things that you must do in certain time frames. So I am not suggesting that you not follow or comply with your company's guidelines. In fact, make sure you do. But in addition to that, I've got a few tips for you as leasing professionals on how you can organize your day and be more productive, successful in your role, and enjoy work a little bit more. First things first is to be ready. Show up to work ready to work. That's right. Be on time and make sure that you've already eaten your breakfast and maybe even had some coffee. A lot of times I find that our team members will show up to work and then they sit in the back for 20 minutes and finish applying their makeup or eating their breakfast or chit-chatting about the previous days. This is a huge waste of energy and a waste of your peak performance time. Typically, we are fresh in the morning. We have the most brain power. So this is the time where we want to be able to work on those things that are maybe a little more difficult or maybe require more creativity. So you want to use this time to your advantage. So show up to work and be ready to get to work so that you can start off on the right foot. Next thing you want to do after, of course, you prepare your property, like getting the models open and walking your tour paths to ensure that they're clean and safe and ready for prospects. Then the next thing that you want to do is, I always suggest that people do follow up first. For some reason, follow up tends to get pushed on the back burner, and it's that thing that we go, oh, well, if it doesn't quite get done today, it doesn't matter. When the truth is that follow-up is one of the most important parts of your leasing role. And so do that first for a couple of reasons. Again, if you get it done at the beginning of the day, it's less likely you're going to end up pushing it off until the next day. It's less likely that you're going to get interrupted, but also you're more likely to connect with people earlier in the mornings. The further along in the day that they get, the less likely you are to actually connect. So get those follow-ups done first. The next thing I would say is anything that requires that creative energy or a lot of brain power. Maybe you're going to have to review a lot of reports, anything that's going to require you to do a lot of thinking, get it done next. You want that to be the next thing on your list. So that first hour of your morning, really focus on follow-up and those really thought-provoking tasks or maybe creative tasks, like your retention or your marketing strategies. Really utilize that first hour in the morning to take all of that fresh brain juice and put it to work. The next thing you'll want to do to plan for your day is to plan those times to actually walk apartments, to check the apartments that you have scheduled to move in the next day. You want to check them the day before, so if there's anything that you see that might need to be repaired, you can get that done. Anything else that your manager requires you to walk and check, you'll want to make sure that that's scheduled as part of your day. And I suggest that you schedule that for right after lunch, because usually after lunch we're really tired, especially if we've eaten a heavy lunch, and so getting out and moving our bodies helps us not only work off what we just ate, but to kind of renew our energy. So grab a bottle of water and go on that walk. So if you plan your day right, you can do these follow-ups and these really creative or thought-provoking tasks early in the morning. You'll have some time between that and lunch to do your tours and any other tasks that maybe don't take a lot of thought. Then you'll have your lunch and you'll do your walks. And then you can wrap up kind of the end of your day with those administrative tasks, those filing, completing of service requests, things of that nature that might require you to do more data entry, where you don't necessarily have to have a lot of ideas or a lot of energy. It's just kind of copy paste type of activities. So that's a good time to throw those things in there. And between all of those little areas or pockets of time, you'll have time for your tours and processing paperwork and things of that nature. So if we think about our daily activities, if you go back, if you haven't watched video 1 from this Get Organized series, make sure you go back and do that, because you should have a master list, you should have a calendar, and now you should have that daily task list. So I asked you to put together that list, and I asked you to chunk things together. So if you're looking at your daily task and you're chunking your task, your things that are chunked together might be things like processing applications and typing leases, might be marketing strategies and retention activities. And if you allot yourself time for these tasks, then set timers. So if I have an hour in the morning to complete my follow-ups and to kind of maybe work on marketing strategies, I want to set that timer so that I know at the end of that hour, it's time to move on to the next task. Because what happens is a lot of times we get wrapped up in what we're doing, and it doesn't necessarily have to be done right now. It doesn't have to be completed. We just needed to work on it a little bit at a time. So if we use timers to help us kind of strategize our day, then we can make sure that we have the time we need for all of the other tasks. So as a leasing professional, chunk your activities. Make sure that you have a checklist of what you need to complete each day. Make sure you schedule things into your day. We schedule tours. You should be. If you aren't, make sure you're scheduling tours. So schedule your tours, but also schedule the rest of your day so you have a good idea of how you're going to accomplish each item. And then make sure that when you're creating these schedules that you're thinking about when you are the most alert. You're thinking about when you have the best ideas. You're thinking about when you might want to or need to renew your energy. And you're placing the proper activities throughout the day, the proper times, so that you can be most effective and successful in your day. Join me next week as we dive into the assistant manager role. We'll be digging into their daily activities and how they can effectively organize their day. So tell your friends, your coworkers, your manager, everyone should check out the Get Organized series on Thirsty Thursdays. See you next week.